Mr. Mailman in the mail truck, stressing on the Newport, lucky like Tasha.
What's up, Wise Ones? On Wise Wednesdays, Wise Academy has a goal to bring communities together with retrospect, introspect, and much respect to business owners, influencers, and overall really good people. These really good people will be sharing their knowledge that they have acquired throughout their journey to impart on the groups or individuals to wise up the masses. Today, our special guest.
Peace, tribe, and what's up, Wise Wednesdays? My name is Benzel Jimmerson. I'm the Chief Visionary Officer, CVO of Metro Deep. I'm a son, I'm a brother, I'm a father. I got 8 kids, 2 sets of twins, from 20 all the way down to 3 years old. Family means a tremendous amount to me. Child of God, that means a lot in so many different ways as well. I'm a traveler, I'm an athlete. I like to explore the world in so many different ways and through so many different people. And so truly honored to be here and look forward to having a conversation with y'all today.
Will provide us some insight on who they are, what they do, and the wisdom they wish to gift us with so we can wise up and step into our power as a wise one.
Let me tell you a little bit about Metro Deep, what we do, who we are, why we're here. Metro Deep is actually a Black economic development organization. And what does that really mean? The average Black family will be at $0 wealth by 2053. Now that was in 2019 that was true, right? You know, we have to do something about that. By 2032, we will have lost $62 billion in assets because we haven't done things as a community like estate planning, tax planning, properly investing and insuring, all kinds of different factors, having us lose our homes, lose different assets from a business perspective, all kinds of different things. And how did I even get here, right? I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit, always had something. I've built businesses, I've done this, but I've always been pulled back to community. And so, I've started a few things, some things living beyond me to this day, like, think about Eastside Unified. One of the founders of that, that still exists. It's happening through Metro Care Ring today. Family Leadership Training Institute, or FLTI Colorado, one of the founders of that. That's, happening all around the state still to this day. Just different things. And so, those are a few examples. A lot of the fatherhood work that's happened around the state, really. I was on the ground floor of many of those things with some of the elders that had really been doing it for a long time. So, and definitely, the spot, it's not happening anymore in the same way that it was when we was working there. But just different things that I've always kind of been in a place of seeing an issue and being able to create something around, and then bringing other people to it so that it has life beyond me. And that's going to be important for many reasons as you all kind of see what happens with Metro Deep next. What is Metro Deep really doing? Well, I start at the very top. At 50,000 feet, we have a theory of change. For those of y'all that aren't familiar with theory of change, is like, what do you want to see in 20 or 30 or 50 years down the road as a result of the work that you're doing? Right? And we boiled it down to a simple statement, which is making the wealth mentality the most sought after way of being Black, right? Right now, it's gangster, it's athlete, it's entertainer, it's powerful, it's rich, it's so many different things that people put the most onus on, the most respect on, right? Some people it's a politician, some people it is a businessman, or this or that or the other thing, a businesswoman, right? Who are kicking our behinds, by the way, right now. Peace to Black women, you know what I'm saying? Because y'all doing the dang thing. And so, that means Black men, we got to do better, right? We got to do better, we got to lead. And make sure that those foundations are strong all the way around us. So, all those things being said, it's how do we ensure that, we are in any way, right, that the wealth mentality, because you can be all them things, right, and have a wealth mentality versus anything else, versus poverty, versus rich, versus, what does that mean? That means I'm setting my family up to generation after generation after generation, having something based on the time and the work that I've put in, right, and the things that we've done and the people that I've been able to put around, right, inside of my life And the same thing is true for everybody. And so how do we make sure that we spend our time in such a way that our family is benefiting from our works generations down the line, right? So that's at 50,000 feet. We want to see that as like the most sought after way. Beyond that, like kind of getting more into the nitty gritty of stuff, you know, there's a vision statement. Vision is to improve the health and socioeconomic well-being of African descended people through full ownership of our economic destiny. It means that we have agency. It means that, you know, we don't need to anymore, right, look towards others to do for us, because we have every asset. We have every, you know, part of us has an opportunity truly to raise, we can do it, y'all. I know the system is set up, right, in a certain kind of a way, and it's set up, you know, it's not broken. It's working exactly like it was designed to do, right? And it wasn't built for us, right? Not at all, in any kind of way, manner, shape, or form, and that makes it hard, right? It makes it hard for our future orientation to work a certain kind of a way, this, that, the other thing, but you have to really look around you and see who's doing things and how much we actually have, and then figure out how do we work together a little bit better, right? I'm not saying we all got to hold hands and kumbaya. What I am saying is we got to understand each other a little bit better in different ways so that we have the opportunity to utilize our agency and our own economic destiny, meaning, right, that like we came from starting the world in many, many different ways. People think blacks started at slavery. No, sir, right? There's an entire history beyond that, which is why we say African descended. Plus, you know, that populated the world. So all of that, beyond that, I think really, you know, getting down to like now the next level, like what do we actually do? So there's actually a for-profit arm and a nonprofit arm. We're going to start with the nonprofit, okay? So within the nonprofit, there's a youth development department. And within there, we have two different programs. Black Excellence, which is a career immersion program, right? And what that is, some field trips, and then the development of a portfolio. That portfolio, or the field trips, are going to be introducing them to high-paying, high-growth, high-impact, high access career fields, right? And people who look like them inside of those areas, right? And what does that do? That sparks all kind of different things organically, right? And then they go back, they reflect, they think about it. You know, a lot of them have a STEM base to them. So it relates to different learnings that they're having in school. And so we have this opportunity to take them different places, see people who look like them in positions of leadership. And then they reflect on that, and then there's a rites of passage at the end. And that rites of passage is really looking at how do, you know, what is it that I'm most closely connected with? And we do this for 5th graders and 10th graders during the school year. We do it for middle school through high school, or older. 24 is when you really figure out how to be an adult, right? And so, you know, during the summertime. We also have a youth entrepreneur workshop. Youth Entrepreneur Workshop is exactly what it sounds like. However, we take it one level deeper, right? And that's to look at ourselves first, right? Like you can't do too much unless you know who you are, right? And so really exploring self, and then, you know, we can't really build businesses. I know there's a lot of solopreneurs within us, right? And there's also, you know, if you really want to run a business, right, you have to have other people around you helping you in some kind of way, manner, shape, or form, right? Whatever that looks like for you, your business, the things that you're doing. And so it's about working with teams, and what does that look like, right? And some of those dynamics and things to expect. And then we walk them through the process of creating a plan, you know, understanding our competition, our marketing, our target markets, you know, all of the different things in our operations. What does it look like? How much is it going to cost us? How much are we going to be able to make in the end? And then they turn that into a pitch, and they're able to present that as well. Then we also have a youth action committee. And that youth action committee is really the leadership development there. And I think the biggest thing that we look for in the youth department is really that future orientation. There's a whole story. Actually, I'll tell you just a little piece of it. The story is, I was doing a facilitation for the CU School of Public Health. I can't remember, it was maybe 5 or 6 years ago. And I was talking to a group of the students, and some of them kind of went away, and I ended up in a conversation with a Jewish lady, and and I said, well, one question that I've always really been wondering about, and it was just the space for the conversation to occur. And she said, I said, well, why is it that Jewish people are at the very top of the economic ladder? Black folks is at the very bottom of the economic ladder, right? But we are both the most persecuted races in history. And she started with, well, our skin is white. It's easy, right? And I said, yeah, but that doesn't really work, right? It doesn't really work. And what she said after about an hour and a half conversation of kind of pushing and prodding and going and back and forth, and, she exhaled and said, she said, Benzel, I grew up knowing that my parents would do everything in their power to make sure I had everything I needed to thrive in this world as long as I did what I was supposed to do. And if they weren't able to for any reason, then the community around them would make sure that I had everything I needed to have as long as I was doing what I was supposed to. And that was powerful to me in terms of a future orientation. So all of our youth programming really is looking at that future orientation, and in many ways throughout the rest of our departments. Other ones are more simple because, our youth are our future, they're the most important piece. But our career and workforce department. Career and workforce is really looking at one thing. It's the most undeveloped department that we have. And we are also in a place, in a position at this point that everything is like actually in development. We've done the focus groups for the MVP. We've done the feedback sessions. We've done all that. So it's now in full development. So we're looking a couple of months out now. And what our career and youth, workforce is looking at is, all right, how do we take employment seekers and connect them to trusted employers? Because we don't want to put our people into positions and places and where advancement is not really being sought after, right? Advancing people of color is not really being sought after. The microaggressions, the this, that, the other thing, right? And it's not to say that organizations can't be helped and that we don't have resource within ourselves and within our overall ecosystem. What it does mean is we want to check as well as we can, right, where we're sending our people into and making sure that that's a trusted employer. So diverse employment seekers, connecting to trusted employers with some other things around it so that we know who the people are, both on the employer side as well as the employment seeker side, and that we have a really good sense of where they're at in life so that we can help them move forward as they begin to create this new income, because it's not just going to get a job, right? This is about building your career, right? Even if it's not your ultimate place that you want to be, what does it offer to the building of your career and who you want to be, right? Where you want to go. So that's really our career and workforce department. Then we also have an entrepreneurial development department. And there we really focus, our signature program there is called Mastermind Plus. Mastermind Plus is taking growth stage companies and helping them get ready for scale. What does that really mean? It means that we need to put together the systems. We need to help, maybe it's your first couple hires. Maybe it's, well, there's lots of different things, right? But it's making sure that you are ready, poised, and positioned to really be ready for scale, right? And what does scale mean for you as individual in any different instance? It might mean that you want to serve just one neighborhood for the entirety of your business, but you can be able to step away and go do business development, right? It might mean that you want to start expanding to different states. It might mean that you want to turn international. It might mean that you need to go and get capital at high rates, right? Well, what are all the things? We got to look at your financials. We got to look at your 5 C's. We got to look at, all these different things. So it's a program that takes people that are already building, already making money, right? Because there's lots of people doing the startup work, right? And so we have relationships with all those folks, and we'd love for you to go there. We can orientate people who are maybe think they're ready, but not quite ready, right? For that part, we're happy to orientate them. And then we also have some navigation and TA inside of that that's individualized for everybody's business. That really comes through membership. So definitely check out Metro Deep's membership. And then beyond that now, whether it's through career or whether it's through entrepreneurship, right? You now got some extra dollars in your pocket. What you gonna do with that? What you gonna do with that? How we gonna develop that wealth mentality, right? And make sure that we are utilizing the dollars that we're getting. I had this really interesting conversation recently, with one of our mastermind participants, and also somebody helping out with some of the volunteer work and some of that. And he said, "Man, this is kind of our Renaissance era, brother." He said, "Do we always got to be responsible? Do we always got to do the right thing? Like, we're just getting it. We're just getting into this place." And I looked at him and said, "Dang, man, you're right. Should we be able to have some fun? Absolutely, right? And what is your plan beyond the fun, right? Beyond the gold chain or the diamond chain or whatever it is, as you reach a certain level of success, that is, what is your limit, so that you're not always chasing the next thing and you're starting to really build wealth, right? And you're putting some of those things into place while you're having a great time until you kind of stabilize and be like, this is normal to me, right? So we have, what we have in Metro Deep is 2 wealth building strategies. One is in investments, and then one is in real estate. The nonprofit parts of those 2 programs, right, for investments is called Properly Invested and Insured. And that's what we talked about earlier. So you got estate planning, you have your tax strategies, you have your investments correct, you have your real estate correct, you have all the different things, and you really put intentionality, legalities, whatever, to protect everything that you've built, right? And to be able to grow and then be able to pass on to next generations. And then on the real estate side, we have a program called Open Hand Initiative. We need to fund that. We took $30,000 out of our pockets, right? And we put that into 8 people gaining their homes. And it's really the only program that's looking at pre-approval, right? So many families are right there and really ready, but their debt to income ratio is too big, right? And so we were providing grants in order to close that as long as all the other things were right. So now you don't have to wait a year to pay that down, which anything could happen in that time period, right? So you can pay it down right now that you're credit ready, and then everything else, now you're approved, you can go buy, start the process to go buy your home. So that's what we do on the nonprofit side. Now, that was a lot of stuff, right? It's a lot of stuff inside of there. So we knew that we had to, there's no way that internally as an organization we would be able to, nor that we would want to, right, be the only ones and the best experts in the room at all times, right? So we really believe very, very, very deeply in our partnerships, right? And partnerships really looks like, we can be a core partner, right? A lot of the people that we contract with, there's Trey the Video Guru, right? And the work that he does with media. There's Contentment LLC and the work they do with marketing. There's Solomon Wisdom and the work they do with HR. There's an independent contractor working with us around our board. There's, people also that are providing a particular service in terms of the work happening with youth, right? Or the work happening in career and workforce, the work happening with entrepreneurs that are so good at what they do and they've been doing it so long. Why not just work with them, right? Why not just work with them? And it's more of a day-to-day. We call them core partners. Then some people we just work with, as partners, and there's a, 1, 2, or maybe 3 things very specific that we're going to work on with them over the course of a year, 2 years, whatever we kind of work out inside of that relationship, achieve that impact. And those are our partners. And then there's some people that it doesn't really fit, right? For whatever the reason is, it doesn't really fit. And so, but we get to know about you now you know about us. And then we have that ability to refer people because there's a lot of things that need to be there. One thing that I want to say to kind of end what Metro Deep does on the nonprofit side is there's a lot of healing necessary in our community, y'all. I mean, it's a lot of healing. We know some of the very recent incidents. We know some of the old incidents. We know the history that's happened in this city, this state, this country. It's a lot of healing necessary. And so that part of ensuring that there is health connected, right, to the economics, because you can't really worry about the economics if the health is not right, is very, very core. And it's why you'll hear us say tribe a lot, right? Because we operate like a family. You know, don't everybody like me all the time, you know what I'm saying? But we work through whatever we got to work through together. And so that's something really, really important to us. And we're not talking about each other outside. So those are all kind of, you know, the pieces of what really this nonprofit is. You know, there's nonprofit, and that's all about meaning. And then there's for-profit, that's about making dollars, right? All the values stay the same between the two organizations, right? You can definitely check out www.metrodeep.com. And you can see all the things, our events, our membership, our sponsorship, our programs, our, there's a lot on there, y'all. Like, check it out. It's super dope, metrodeep.com. So, you know, but on the for-profit side, we operate in 3 different industries, right? So there is real estate, renewable energy, I didn't say solar, y'all, I said renewable energy, and then transportation and logistics. So we have deep logistics on the transportation side. Deep logistics, you know, is really looking at how do we move people, right, that are in different places in life, right? It might be a reentry situation. It might be a kind of struggling situation. It might be a, you know, I don't come from a whole lot, but you can still move things to people. The GoPuffs, the this, that, the other things. So how do we move them from there to now, you know, or delivering furniture or delivering this or delivering that, right? Things that, you know, it doesn't really matter who you are. As long as you get it there and you get it there on time, you're good, right? To moving people, to being able to move real freight and make real money in a lot of different ways, right? And so we've been able to start there. We do have some hiring opportunities right now. Inside of that, we're super excited. And so, you know, please connect with us. You'll be able to do that certainly through the website. You can send anything, and I'll end with some of those things as well, how you get actually connected direct to. And so anyways, transportation logistics is looking at both transportation as well as the logistics part. Has a lot to do with the warehousing, right? And warehousing is this gigantic thing that in so many ways, we got to get stuff and we got to store stuff. That's all that there is to it, right? And that's going to be a business. So go back, think about the nonprofit, the career and workforce and the youth stuff, right? If you really think about it, like I said, high impact, high paying, high growth, and high access, right? Meaning, this is one of those, it's kind of recession proof, it's bulletproof, it's all of those things, right? So we have a lot of opportunity, and we'd love to see people become owners outside of it, right? Then there's Onyx Renewables and Exteriors, and that's our renewable energy source. We know that the entirety of the world is going to change, right, in terms of how we receive our energy. And then the different things that we can use as well, you know, light our walkway to the house, right? You know, power our vehicles. You know, there's what we can do to clean up here. What can we get from water? What can we get from wind? What can we get from the sun, right? And so all those different aspects, but we really focus in 3 different areas within Onyx. And Onyx, by the way, where that name came from, y'all, this is fun to me. So a lot of people say that black is darkness, right? But actually, black absorbs light. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Whereas white deflects light. Solar panels are black, right? It's kind of where the concept came from. So anyways, you know, with that, we're really focusing from the utility grade side. Are there black folks with 20 plus acres of land inside of their families, this, that, the other thing? If so, we can change your economic future for your family, period. Right? We have several different ways and methods in order to do that. But we have a chief engineer that does phenomenal work and can design anything. We work with some construction companies that can build anything. So we're really excited about, you know, the opportunities to continue to change people's lives through that with solar and or wind. In water, we're not quite there at all yet, and we're just kicking this new company off. So there's that. On the commercial side, we're really looking at covering parking lots, right? And or using roof space that can put on 200%, sorry, a bug just hit me in my eye, that can cover the 200% in Colorado, for example, right? You can harvest 200% of energy from the sun, right? Meaning that if your home, your building, whatever, has enough space in the parking lots, right? And or on the roofs to produce 200% of the energy that you use, you can create a literal income stream from Excel every single year, right? And so looking at how can we cover things, make things more comfortable, and really what are the businesses and companies that want to cover their spaces. On the residential side, it's super straight up, we'll beat everybody by 5%. And that's pretty much as simple as that particular one is. But then we also have different accessories and those kinds of things. Within the real estate is much more about finding good deals. Period, point blank. We've been able to connect with some phenomenal investors, and they look for good deals, and they can figure it out very creatively in a lot of different situations, right? So if you know of a good deal, a real estate deal, any of those kinds of things, talk to us. We can build relationship that way. And those are the for-profit things. Last thing I'm going to say about that is like, well, why? As somebody who's so passionate about the nonprofit side and about helping people and lifting people up, really thinking about all this for-profit stuff, right? Is there a conflict in values there? No, it's not. We're an economic development organization. It doesn't make sense for us to always need from people that don't even really want to give it to us at the end of the day, right? For the rest of our existence, we have to become self-sustainable. So each one of those companies, right, and 10% of the profits go right into the nonprofit. And if you think about the volume and the opportunity for growth within each one of those industries, we can easily run the nonprofit in several different areas, right? Just based on that 10% profit. Of course, we will always take the foundation's money who wants to give it to us, the overall corporate community, the people that we can help by providing supported employees, right? By providing entrepreneurship support that's really ready in a lot of different ways, and providing excited youth who have a future orientation who are strong. And so, we believe that we really need to exist in both the spaces, separated businesses, but both spaces in order to truly be a Black economic development organization. All right, y'all, so what can I'm not very wise. I don't know. Well, maybe I don't know, whatever. But that's what I was asked to do, right? Is impart some wisdom. And so I thought about a few different things that to me are kind of the foundations of how, how I do me. And really the first one that I want to talk about is a conversation around values, right? And that values conversation, I think, should be a starting place for families to sit around the dinner table and talk about, right? To sit around the fire, to sit outside, to, play them card games, them dominoes, them spades, then whatever we gonna do, y'all, you know how we do, right? Some good eats around us, and have conversations that are deeper than other people, right? That are deeper than events, but really about ideas, right? And values, I think, are the deepest sense of ideas, right? Because they ground us as human beings, as individuals. And so here's kind of a crazy question, thought, right? Process, right? You heard me in my introduction, I said, well, I'm this, I'm that, I'm the other thing, right? There's different hats that we all wear, right? Different hats that we all put on in our professional lives, in our personal lives, in our interpersonal lives, and in our lives, moving through the world and the societies that we live in, right? And I think it's important for us really to think about, our values is a starting place. How do you do that? What do you want? if you think about all the different hats that you wear, right? What do you want people to say about you? Think of one important person in each one of those areas with each one of those hats, right? One person inside of each one of those places. Imagine them standing up at your funeral. What do you want them to say about you? You know, that's kind of the starting place that begins for you to think about, well, what is my life's mission? What do I really stand for? What am I willing, 10 toes, no matter, it's incompromisable, this is who I am, right? I think that's an important place, right, to think about is what are your uncompromisables? And then what is that thing that, you know, you can put on your mirror, put on your wall, put, you know, on your ceiling for when you wake up, right? And for me, it's one healthy generation to hold children, starting with my own, right? And that's a lot of work. I told you I got 8 kids. Shit. So it's a lot of work, you know what I mean? Like, how do I ensure that? How do I let go when it's not the right time? How do I, you know, all these different things, but it's something, no matter how much is ever gained, right? No matter how far I get in my vision or my journey or whatever, right? It's something that grounds me no matter what, because I can't do it if it doesn't stand in line with that thought process, right? But, you know, then really looking at, you know, what does duty mean, right? I had an experience very, very, very recently that has increased duty to now a value that I never really thought of in the same way. You know, I know what was sitting on my shoulders, right, for many, 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 many years. But, you know, now, like, oh, duty is like here and you gotta meet it, right? So that's just one example of like something, right? And it's deeply personal, and so I'm not gonna go through mine, and I don't expect you to, you know, shout out to the world on a daily basis, right? But with those closest to you, have the conversations, y'all. Figure out who it is that you are from a values-based space and place, right? And that will guide you in so many different ways through so many different things, because people will come with everything, right? Them girlfriends, them boyfriends, them business partners, them all kinds of stuff, right? And if you don't vibe, you say certain things, right? I can tell you're not really, so that brings me to maybe the second point that I'll make is a story that actually it wasn't even a story. He just looked at me, this is my granddaddy. And he said, son, if you can count on one hand your true friends, by the time you leave this earth, you are a lucky man. You know, that kind of hit hard, because I'm like, I know a lot of people, I got a lot of friends. I was younger then, you know what I'm saying? I was younger then. So, you know, I think everything that I said before, like, you know, another way of really putting it, and I've heard this from lots of different people, you know, as I've imparted wisdom from others, because I can impart wisdom for people, you know, 2 months old, all the way up to 125 years old. Okay, I never met nobody 125. Let me quit playing with y'all. But, you know, whether it's an elder, whether it's a younger, and anybody in between, right? Like, there's wisdom to be had. But one of the things that really has hit me hard and that I have to like sit down and consciously think about sometimes is, you know, really around this concept of like, all right, I gotta at least, please let me go out this world with 5, right? Please let me go out this world with 5 that are true friends, right? It don't matter if I haven't talked to you for 2 years, 2 weeks, 2 minutes, you know what I mean? Whatever it is and wherever they fit in your life, as soon as you pick up that phone, as soon as you meet, it's like no steps are missed, you know what I mean? As soon as I make that call because I need something, or as soon as you make that call because you need something, it's there, right? And so, you know, all that being said, if you show me the 5 people that you spend the most time with, I'll tell you who you is. And that's hard, you know what I mean? That's hard. I love the hood. I love the streets. You know what I mean? I love athletics. I love this, that, and the other thing, and these different ways of life, right? You know, and sometimes I have to say bye to people for now, right? I can't spend time in your space and where you're at, giving energy, because I can't help the poor if I'm one of them. So I decided to get rich and get back. And to me, that's the win-win. That's Jay-Z. I'm trying to get there. I ain't there. I'm trying to get there, right? And so, yeah, man, like if you show me the 5 people you spend the most time with, I'll tell you who you is. And what I try and do myself personally is I try to surround myself with people smarter than me, people better than me, because, you know, even though I'm definitely, I got my strong personality, you know, I got my alpha ways, right? And I really try my very hardest not to move with ego. I want you to be better than me. I want you to be stronger than me. I don't care if you got more money than me. That means you know something I don't know, and I would like to know it. But that means that I have to provide some value for you to want to share with me, right? Or some authenticity, right? In order for you to want to share with me. And so, you know, so I got to give something. I can't take, right? And so I try and surround myself with people better than me and learn something from them and try and give something in that process and create a dual value, right? Because I believe in, you know, one thing my father taught me that I hold super, super close to me is like, when I come somewhere, make it better, not worse. You know what I mean? That means relationships, that means somebody crib, that means the relationship overall, that means, you know, whatever it is, I try and make, you know, the people around me better by knowing me versus worse. And so I think that's something important for all of us to think about. There's 2 other things that I'd want to talk about real quickly. You know, I've always said, and this is real bad, y'all, this is real bad, because I'm not supposed to curse, I don't think, in like formal environments, but I'm about to do it. Fuck a box. I don't believe in boxes. I don't like boxes, right? I love circles, right? I love triangles, they're powerful. You know, but boxes, you know, and so why live in a box? Why live in a neighborhood only? Why live in a city only? Why live in why live in only one place of mentality, one religion, one anything? The danger of a single story. Look that up on TED Talks. The danger of a single story. You know, it's depleting of our spirits, I think, you know? And so I love to travel. I love to travel the world, right? Spontaneously. I ain't even got the money to do it. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go because I know it's gonna give me something more than I expected, right? It's gonna teach me something about me, right? A different culture, a different place, a different, you know, way of being, all of that kind of stuff. You know, but it's about not living in a box and exploring the world, the people. You know, I'm not, you know, the most. I'm not the guy to have, you know, 100 friends. A lot of times you're gonna see me by myself, right? I might go out by myself. I might go out with 1 or 2 people. I might, you know, those kinds of things. So I'm not constantly looking for validation from other people, right? At the same time, when I run into somebody, I'm friendly, y'all. Look, I will talk to you. I will have a conversation because I don't know who you is. I had this lady grab me. I was young, y'all. We was at the burning of the Zobra. You can look that up in New Mexico. And then you'll know what be happening out there. And I was definitely doing it. And she came up behind me or in front of me. Was it in front of me? She came in front of me. And then as she passed me, she grabbed the back of my arm. And she turned me around and she said, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" She said, "You need to stop and you need to live in who you are." And then she walked away. A reason, a season, or a lifetime. That's how people come to you, right? And so it don't really matter if it's just a moment, if it's, you know, a season of my life, or if it's a lifelong somebody, right? I value what I can learn from people. I value what I can learn from the world. I value what I can learn from different experiences. And so, you know, try things within reason, as long as you're not hurting nobody else, right? I think it's valuable. I think it's right. So I think the last thing from like whatever wisdom I'm finna share inside of today is time. Time, right? It takes 10,000 hours to become a master of anything. 10,000 hours, right? You can do the math and like what I gotta do, and I think about, how many movies am I watching? Or TV, right? Let me say TV, more so the mindless TV. How much am I scrolling? How much am I, focused on whatever it is that I wanna be, right? And do the math and see how much time is in a day? What are you gonna do in a day, right? What should you be accomplishing in the course of a day? I got a brother that hit me up just today actually, and he said, man, I gotta leave out of town tomorrow. He said, but we can get down and we can capture this thing, and he called me twice, right? Just to make sure that, his time was being done and utilized in a way that allowed him to produce even while he's preparing to go do some really important things for himself and his business and his family. So, what am I gonna do with my day? What am I gonna do with my time? And I think whatever that means for you, right? Like we have planning time. We all have fires that we gotta put out, or urgent situations that we need to be in. We all have tasks and things that need to be done. It's unavoidable, whether it's laundry, kids picking up, work stuff, or whatever else it is, right? And then there's just wasted time, right? And I'm not even saying wasted time is bad. It's not. Sometimes go and clown and do, you know what I mean? Same kind of way that you save, right? Like 10% goes to me to just do whatever the heck I want to do, right? And then I have responsibilities and I have places for everything else with my money and with my time, right? And so I think those are incredibly important things for us to think about is simply time. And how much do I got? And even more so, how much am I guaranteed? Though none of us got that answer. And so while I'm here, what do I want to do with it? What do I want to do with my time while I'm here? Because I don't know if I'm going to be here tomorrow. I don't, right? And I'd like to think I do. I'd like to think I can make good choices and, be healthy and, this and that and the other thing. And shit, I like that cheeseburger too. What? So I want to enjoy my time. And I also want to be intentional about my time. I want to have time to do me. One little quick story around time. I was doing some research about Olympic athletes, and and they all were giving advice about how they got there. And the most consistent theme inside of that? Naps. I get my rest, And so I think even in that, it's important. Your rest is important as well as your waking hours, right? Think about it. Tough. Think about it. Tough. And be intentional about it. However you're using it, be intentional about it. Why am I doing what I'm doing? And that's a really simple question to ask yourself. And does it align with, me not being in that box, but me being outside of? And I think that has the opportunity for like human evolution, right? To the next stage, to the next place. And that's really it. So y'all, if you made it all the way through this, like you cool, you might think I'm halfway cool, right? I don't know how many people's gonna watch it to the end, but we got a gala coming up, September 14th. Man, we have fun, y'all. MetroDeep.com/gala. You get all the information. Use Tribe Love. If you watch this all the way to the end, use Tribe Love, you get 50% off in the code or coupon place. And come and hang out with us, man. The after party, the gala, the whatever. Become a member at Metro Deep. Small business membership, individual memberships, family memberships, corporate memberships, large organization memberships. It's a lot of ways to engage. Come volunteer, come come get down, because that's who I have to spend my time with. I spend my time with the people who are contributing in some kind of a way to whatever this is, and I'm not nobody in that kind of a way where I'm like better than, but I am intentional and I am very focused, right? I'm focused on accomplishing what I've been put here to accomplish. And so the people who come around that, I spend my time with, you know what I mean? And so I would love for you to be one of those people. Please come hang out, right? There's sponsorship opportunities. We got a few dollars extra in your pocket to support a cause that this has touched you in some kind of a way. All that can be accessed at metrodeep.com, but come and hang out with us at the gala. It's coming right around the corner, September 14th. If you're an entrepreneur, let us help you. Please let us help you. Go check out our programs tab, look at Mastermind Plus. We have a cohort starting on September 21st. We'd love to have you. We'd love to have you if you're truly in the growth stage. But it don't matter. Wherever you are, put in an application and let us know you. And at very minimum, we'll do a workshop with you and get you orientated to the people that we know outside to do the startup stuff. And then we always want to have a relationship. So when you're ready to get ready to scale and do things, the most innovative, the most growth kind of pieces, we're here for you. So we just want to be here as a service. If you're already great, we'd love to partner with you, and make you a part of this ecosystem in some kind of a way. Reach out. Let's get down. And I want to give a huge shout out to the WiseWons. I want to give a huge shout out to the WiseWons, because the WiseWons put me on to this, and I didn't even know how this project was going to work, man. My boy Trey, the video guru, came through, and and we put it together. Nah, man, it's an honor. It's an honor. It's a privilege to have shared anything with you, and I hope that I've been able to share something today that has some value for you in your life. And again, we just love to connect. I'm second to none. I'm a wise one.
Only lessons learned.
Well, folks, you heard it here and you heard it clear. There was so much that goes into becoming a wise one. But we can learn from the wisdom of others as the African American proverb, each one teach one, becomes prevalent in our everyday lives, and over time, grants us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, courage to change the things we can, and wisdom to know the difference. I'm Coach J Love, and these wise words are powered by Wise Academy. Happy Wise Wednesday.
One ain't no defeat.